Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Check Gurudev, we are doing this ninth verse. Yajnarthat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara. This person who is enjoying to do action is bound by karma other than that performed for the sake of yajna. That is, other than the action performed as an offering to Ishvara. For this reason, O Kaunteya, being one free from attachment, perform action for the sake of that yajna. So, yajna is a very important word in Vedic literature. Even though the word means a sacrificial ritual, in a wider sense, yajna means every action of one's life is performed as an offering to Ishvara. We did this yesterday. We did this over one time. So we'll just go. All offerings belong to the Lord alone. Pranayama, etc. Similarly, ragas. So basically, there is a devata, presiding deity. That's an aspect of the divinity, which is called a devata. So any functionary such as eyes, ears, nose, organs has a presiding deity, which is but Ishvara. Ultimately, it's Ishvara. The sense organs as Ishvara. So this appreciation is the very attitude that is karma yoga. That is, you look at everything in creation as being Ishvara. See, if you look at Ishvara as the material cause of the whole creation, the eyes themselves are Ishvara. And if you look at the Lord as the efficient cause, that is, as the intelligent cause, the Lord becomes the presiding deity for the eyes. Without this appreciation of Ishvara, this bhakti, there is no karma yoga. Thus, karma yoga is bhakti yoga. We are told very clearly that there are only two yogas, jnana yoga and bhakti yoga or karma yoga. So even a one pursuing jnana yoga, that's the sannyasi, also has bhakti. So a sannyasi jnana yogi is not without devotion. In fact, this person's entire life is dedicated to the appreciation of Ishvara. Bhakti yoga is karma yoga. Bhakti is the recognition of Ishvara, and any karma done for the sake of recognizing Ishvara is yoga. Even if you meditate mentally, it is bhakti because the Lord is involved. It is also a karma because you're doing it with your will. Any action that comes of your will and is invoking someone is a yajna, a karma. Therefore, the expression bhakti yoga is to be taken as karma yoga. Bhakti yoga being a common element. Similarly, Hatha Yoga is a discipline which is a sadhana or indirect means for moksha. Any discipline is either for antakarana shuddhi, purification of your mind, or for the integration and coordination of the physical body. Because there are a number of disturbances and many kinds of deficiencies possible in a person, various disciplines can be helpful. Any discipline is yoga if the purpose is very clear. If not, it can be a problem. Even karate can be yoga as long as it is not done to make you feel invincible. The purpose is not to kick someone, but to gain a certain degree of fitness and coordination. There is a Swami in Bangalore. He's actually a direct disciple of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. He used to be called Nityaji, but he is now Swami Sukhabodhananda Saraswati. So he actually learns karate. So he is, of course, not doing it in order to gain some, to feel invincible, but of course to gain a certain degree of fitness and coordination. One might say, what is the sannyasi is doing all this? But it is the purpose for which it is done that is important. So any discipline, if the purpose is clear, that is important. When there is commitment to Ishvara, everything becomes yoga, a means. There is no discipline or activity that we can say is not yoga if the Lord is involved. That's the only thing we have to do. Because all along we've been doing things mechanically. Just bringing in that awareness of the Lord in whatever we do. In the fourth chapter, we will see how many types of activity there are, and that with these, everything is covered. Who is doing it, the person's attitude, the purpose for which an activity is being done. All these make any activity a sadhana, a yoga. It is important to understand then that although yoga has been divided into many different types, the Shastra makes it clear that there are only two, in fact, karma yoga and jnana yoga. So even as I'm reading, and even as you all are listening, that itself is yoga, provided we bring in the aspect of Ishvara, where the ears that hear and the mouth that speaks, the efficient cause for that is Ishvara. So then slowly what is happening is that the doership starts getting diluted. It is not the ahankara that comes up saying, oh, I am reading and I am listening. It is the mind is listening, yes, but then the ahankara gets diluted because you're recognizing it, you're doing it as an act of bhakti with that devotion. The moment you bring in Ishvara into your awareness, then there is bhakti. For the Jnana Yogi or Sannyasi, knowledge alone is yoga because the person is absolved from all duties. It is not that the Jnana Yogi does not do any karma whatsoever. It is just that the person is absolved of all obligatory duties. The sannyasi is a non-competitive person, one who does not compete in the society in any way. Only then is the person freed from all obligatory duties to pursue knowledge. When sannyasis start incense factories, for example, they have to compete with other incense manufacturers. They have to project the product, proving it to be better than other products. Only a person who does not compete in the society can be called a sannyasi. Thus, there are only two yogas, and bhakti is common to both of them. All karmas become yoga if they are done keeping Ishvara in view. A yajna is any karma which is done for the sake of Ishvara. It can be any ritual, worship, or prayer, each of which involves special karma performed for the sake of Ishvara only. See, it is not a kamya karma then, right? Then it becomes karma yoga, nishkama karma. Kamya karma is when you're doing in any ritual, worship, or prayer for a limited end. But here, you're doing it for the sake of Ishvara. You're in that universal order. You know your role, responsibility at that given time and place, and you're just doing it because it has to be done. And you're doing it as an act of offering. Bringing up a child is also a yajna and is an example of an indirect offering to Ishvara. So basically, when we look at things, when we look at work like this, then no work can be tiring. The physical body can get tired, yes, but you're not mentally tired. Which is what I think in the Bhagavad Gita that we listened to, Gurudev's Bhagavad Gita, he was talking once of sevaks. This is when there was uh, the roof had some leak and then they had to fix it. Overnight it was done. They spent almost all night doing it and it was done. And still they were very energetic. So basically, when you're doing it for the sake of Ishvara, then there is only joy. You're left with joy. You do it joyfully. You're doing it not for joy, but you're doing it out of joy. Seva also is like that. Seva needs to be done. Ultimate, actual seva needs to be done out of joy. And seva is an expression of joy. Also, although seva has different aspects, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, if seva is done only to gain some recognition, then that becomes rajasic. But seva is done out of sheer joy, out of the need to do. Yeah. So the child has been given to me as prasada and is to be brought up by me. This is a proper attitude and is therefore karma yoga. Ishvara is recognized and the order involved is seen to be Ishvara. To see things in this way is not an ordinary situation. A person has to be sensitive so that the order that is Ishvara is as tangible as a wall or a rock. This kind of appreciation is what bhakti actually means. So, just as easily as we see a rock and a wall, if one's attitude is that of bhakti, is able to recognize Ishvara in everything that we see, do, that order is seen, that is karma yoga. And that is not an ordinary situation. It requires a degree of sensitivity, a degree of awareness. The real meaning of bhakti. Bhakti is not just chanting, although chanting is also bhakti. It is the appreciation of Ishvara and the order. This appreciation is what makes you sensitive and gives meaning to your life. Recognizing Ishvara is to be able to see more than meets the eye, more than what the eyes see. Bhakti is an appreciation of what is behind and what is in front, the order within the order, seeing everything as Ishvara. And this is also exactly what is meant by Karma Yoga. So, the ability to see more than what meets the eye. So, therefore, actually, there's this beautiful knowledge that Gurudev gave that I just want to read. 1 second. Just give me a second. There is one thing about, 1 second, this is very relevant to what we're reading now. Come, that is gone off. Yeah. So, Guruji, the question is, what is the most important knowledge that one should remember when going through difficult times? Gurudev says, if you have a problem in life, do not blame others because it is your karma that brings you these bad experiences. A good seeker or student understands this and does not complain. If the situation you are in is inevitable, tolerate. If it's avoidable, get out of there. If you feel like you can expand your skills, smile. Every uncomfortable situation increases your comfort zone. Every awkward situation is a test of how deep you are in knowledge. Love something of an awkward situation. This will increase your comfort zone. When your comfort zone increases, Nobody will be able to press your buttons, and you will become so focused and unbreakable. Every pain is trying to shake you to see if you are strong or not. Test your strength. It is to make you stronger. What happened had to happen. Do not sit down and think that you could have done this or that. It is useless. Move on. Remember that in life, when we face challenges, our inner abilities and talents ignite, making us more innovative and creative. The proof of your peace is only when there are obstacles. Appreciate the obstacles. Leave all the complaints and thank all those bitter days because they have given you strength. Whatever is yours will come to you. It will stay with you. You cannot go without receiving it. Even if Lord Indra comes, he cannot take it away from you. What is yours, you will get it for sure. Don't be in a hurry to get rid of storms. Be with them. If you are peaceful, everything around you becomes peaceful. You are the center of this universe. Most important of all, not all storms come to interrupt your life. Some come to clear your way. Whoever walks the path of wisdom does not lack anything. Difficulties come, but there is always care, protection, and divine grace. I will actually post this in our group for you to read it again if you wish to. So, this is something that I found very appropriate. So, basically, when Krishna says, Matras Varshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukhadukkadaha, Agama Paino Nityah, Tam Stitikshasva Bharata. Says in the world, once the sense organs encounter the sense objects, there are going to be the pairs of opposites. So tolerate them. Go with them. Persevere through them. That's exactly what Swamiji, it's what Gurudev is saying. So no complaints. You must be, in fact, happy when you're faced with obstacles and challenges. Because number one, it helps you get out of your comfort zone. And number two, it is the test of your strength, of your peace, how peaceful you can be in spite of obstacles, in spite of challenges. So here, the reason how it's relevant is the moment you see Ishvara as the order, whatever you get, even if it's a difficult situation, the outcome is difficult. Outcome is not as what you expected. Then when you look at it as prasada, then there is only joy. There is only peace and joy within. So by any karma, you are either directly or indirectly related to Ishvara. Karma involves role playing. Something is expected of you. This action is to be done by you because you are placed in the situation. Therefore, you do it. This is how Ishvara's karma works. Otherwise, why are you in this place at this time? Why are you not elsewhere? There is a meaning here. You are in this place at this time because there is something to be done by you. This is the law of karma. You see that there is a meaning and that the situation is not a random one. Everything seems to have a cause and an effect. There is no randomness in the creation. To use Einstein's words, the Lord does not play dice. Even if he did, being omniscient, he would know exactly how they were going to fall. Otherwise, he would not be Ishvara. Therefore, he has no need to play dice. Situations do not happen randomly. They happen because they have to happen. If this is understood, you will find that everything, even relationships, becomes meaningful. I just want to share something that happened last week. Like, my parents are here, so I was wanting to take my mother for a dental checkup. So I was just telling her, and then she was saying, "No, I'll go back to India and get it checked." And out of the blue, from the next day, I saw one of my friends who is a dentist send me a message of a free dental checkup in the clinic that she's working. She has her own clinic. So then I said, "This is very good. At least I will tell Amma that we have a friend who's uh, who has this offer. Why don't we go?" So that's how it happened. And the long story short, it so happens that this friend is in need of, it's a new clinic that they have set up, she and her partners. They're in need of some insurance, help for insurance. And they were looking at Solidarity. Solidarity is one of the insurance firms. My son happens to work there. Mm. So she said, this is the universe. She herself is into the art of living. She's done Sahaj and the happiness program. And she says, "I can't believe this. This is the universe bringing you to me at this point, because otherwise we would not have gone there." So the very thought that I had, that I wanted to take my mother for a dental checkup, it's not random. It had to happen. And that, the next day I get this message from her, and that we went, and then she needs some help for insurance. So basically, all this we think is a coincidence, but nothing is a coincidence. Nothing is random. Everything is actually preordained.
What about free will in
I
that?
was thinking of that. Yeah. So the free will is how we look at it. The free will is whether we want to do it as karma yoga, or we take it as simple karma. That free will, that viveka that we have, is for us to decide what to do, whether to do it or not. That kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, and anyathava kartum shakyam. It's not like we are like puppets. In a way, yes, there is the order of Ishvara and the order of karma that is there, that makes things inevitable. But we have that free will to take however the outcome is, how to take the outcome, how to do it. That is our free will. With what attitude to do. See, you could do this attitude, this thing as just any other karma, but your free will is what directs how, whether you're taking it as karma yoga or not. Very beautifully put by Gurudev. He says, free will, your destiny is your height, whereas free will, your weight is your free will. Whether you want to continue to eat and gain weight, your height is already fixed. That's it. Whereas your weight is your free will. That's why Gurudev says, the wise see their past as destiny and future as free will. Whereas the complacent will see the future as free as destiny and say, "Oh, I don't need to do anything because anyway everything is destiny." Then there will be a tendency to become lazy, tendency to be very laid back. I think everything is anyway happening, so why should I do anything? No. But the free will, if you look at the future as free will, then you're in the moment, you're taking everything out of a sense of responsibility. You will be responsible, you will not be carefree, isn't it? For example, we've announced a course, and if you say, okay, I've just announced a course, and if there is no effort done to bring in the awareness, talk to people, and get people to enroll, and say, oh, whoever is destined will come, then what is happening? Correct. Whoever is destined to come, ultimately, only they will come. But our free will is there to put in that to put in that effort to talk to people, talk to as many people as possible in that time between the time you've announced the course to the time the course begins. Right? It's just it's just an example that came to my mind that I'm sharing. So free will is dynamic. It is not complacent. It gives us that ability to act responsibly out of viveka, of course. Free will, you can abuse your free will, which is what I think we've seen that. I think that will come later about freedom. We'll come to that. Yeah, any more sharing on this? So you see that there is a meaning and that the situation is not a random one. Everything seems to have a cause and an effect. There is no randomness in the creation. To use Einstein's words, the Lord does not play dice. Even if he did. So what does that mean? Lord does not play dice. It means that he is not just doing things um, although he set the creation in motion, there is a cause and effect to everything. You know, my sister she works as a hemato-oncologist in Phoenix, and she had a her supervisor, who was very, very tough and very troublesome. She went through quite a lot of difficult situations over the last few years. And yesterday, he had to, he resigned. I think he was either going to be um, fired or he was given an option to resign. So he resigned. So at one stroke, and then there is another supervisor who's coming up who is like-minded, who is spiritually inclined. So basically, in the universe, whatever you do, it comes back to you. There is a cause and effect relationship with respect to your own doings and with respect to the whole universe. That is why sometimes your very, very dear friends turn to become inimical and you don't know why. And that is because of karma. And sometimes enemies become friends. So all this is in the name of karma. So why give so much of importance to people, situations, what they said, what happened? We get so stuck with this. So going beyond this, seeing that universal order. So Lord does not need to play dice. Even if he did, being omniscient, he would know exactly how they were going to fall. Otherwise, he would not be Ishvara. Therefore, he has no need to play dice. Situations do not happen randomly. They happen because they have to happen. So my sister had to go through that tough time. That was her karma. That was her prarabdha. So at that point, if she had resisted and she said, oh, and started complaining, it would not be karma yoga. She went through it. She says, no, this is a situation I have to go through. If this is understood, you will find that everything, even relationships, becomes meaningful. That's what even Rajima said. She says, you must be thankful to those people, thankful to your mother-in-law in case she's that tough mother-in-law, and not complain, not resist. She said specifically, she said, you must do Sashtang Namaskar to all those people who you think are troubling you in life. They are actually taking away your karma and they're making you
Wow.
strong in what we read, what Swamiji, what Gurudev was saying. It makes you strong within. They're making you strong internally. See, it's very easy to be happy when everything is going fine. But when things go the other way, the way that you do not want, that is when the strength comes in. That is when it shows how stable you are, how unperturbed you can be.
So the we can say the same thing if somebody is physically not well, is bedridden or has some lot of physical ailment. So instead of asking God to make me all right or others praying for it, we should ask for give me strength to overcome this problem instead of saying to take away the problem. Is it?
That will be ultimate karma yoga, because karma yoga is not kamya yoga. It's not kamya karma, right? So the ultimate, that person praying for, asking for strength to go through that illness is with the attitude of, is the attitude that a karma yogi has. There is nothing wrong in praying to make me feel better, to get me out of sickness. But then there is an element of kamya there. It's a limited end. The body is diseased and you want to get out of the disease. So you're praying for health. You're praying for to get out of the sickness. But a better attitude. You pray, of course you pray, but your prayer is directed to asking for strength to go through it.
Yeah, then
That
that
becomes
is
karma yoga.
karma yoga
That
because
becomes karma yoga. Yeah,
yeah, as we were just talking, your previous karmas have led you to that disease.
mm,
So it's better to overcome with the strength.
correct.
Yeah, thank you.
But that does not mean we will live a life of irresponsibility, get into sickness. Not like that. You
No,
continue
not
to
like
do
that.
things. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Continue to do things that will keep your
that
health,
has to
because
be done.
ultimately the body is a vehicle for us to gain moksha. The body is a vehicle. You're given this beautiful life to, and the ultimate achievement, ultimate, if you can call it achievement, is liberation. So therefore you live a life of awareness, but then slowly our wants, how we pray, for what we pray, there needs to be that shift inside.
Yeah.
To worship the Lord by doing what is to be done by you definitely requires that you see more than the eyes can see. Like, for instance, there is a bedridden person at home. Now, what you have to do is to take care of them. We cannot say, oh, it's your prarabdha. So, a person who is taking care of such a person will have to do whatever is to be done. because that is your prarabdha. Your prarabdha is to take care of a sick person, which is why Gurudev says if parents who given neurodiverse kids, like special needs children, the children are born in order to extract seva from the parents. And that is their prarabdha. I see a lot of these children, and it amazes me how loving parents are towards them. They can get uh, very difficult to handle, but still they go on with that. Very, very rarely you'll find someone who kind of is negligent about of their duties. So these children come to take seva from their parents. And for that matter, each one of us, the situations that we are in, the people that we are dealing with, is all meant, is all part of the order. To worship the Lord by doing what is to be done by you definitely requires that you see more than the eyes can see. You have to appreciate what is beyond the hands that perform the action, not merely the desire, but what is behind the desire. You should appreciate that the desire itself is born of Ishvara. This kind of appreciation is bhakti. In this way, the performer of action worships the Lord indirectly.
Could you read this sentence again, please?
Yeah, I will read this paragraph again. So, to worship the Lord by doing what is to be done by you definitely requires that you see more than the eyes can see. You have to appreciate what is beyond the hands that perform the action, not merely the desire, but what is behind the desire. You should appreciate that the desire itself is born of Ishvara. This kind of appreciation is bhakti. In this way, the performer of action worships the Lord indirectly. Anyone wants to share or add on to this? Thus, there is a twofold yajna, direct and indirect. When you perform a karma, a yajna, in the form of a prayer, there is a direct relationship between Ishvara and yourself. You either invoke Ishvara in the form of a devata, a deity, or you invoke him as the Lord straight away. Either way, there is a bhakta, a devotee, and there is a yajamana, one who performs the karma. You can do the karma yourself, or it can be done by someone else, by proxy, as when you ask a priest to conduct a ritual on your behalf. Either way, the result comes to you alone, the yajamana. Direct and indirect yajnas. Karma that invokes a devata or Ishvara directly becomes a direct yajna. Any other karma done with an awareness of Ishvara becomes an indirect yajna. Because the yajna, direct or indirect, is done for the sake of Ishvara, Ishvara is also called yajna. This section of the Gita provides a beautiful description of bhakti that converts karma into yoga. Everything can be seen here, the order, the ecology, and so on. At every level, there is an ecology. the ecology of thought, the ecology of karma, the ecology of action. Ecology is an excellent word. So yesterday we said ecology, the dictionary meaning is that which deals with the relations of organisms to one another and to their physical surroundings. That is what China was mentioning. He dealt with the yajna bhava at length. This is the understanding Ishvara, doing everything of as an act of offering, taking everything as prasada, and recognizing the interdependence. Actually, maybe time permitting, let me just check. I had written notes, and China was giving those early morning lectures on Bhagavad Gita. Let me see if I can retrieve that. It's a good idea to go through that once. Ecology is an excellent word, having brought into light a certain understanding that did not exist previously. Ecology is now a commonly used word because there is necessity for it. Pollution now being a recognized problem. So here, with respect to ecology, there's interdependence. So, China had mentioned that machine and the piston. How the functionality of the machine, every aspect of the machine, whether it's a piston or a screw, is involved, is important. The screw, it's doing its job of keeping the things together. The piston, it's doing its job of moving up and down. The screw thinks, oh, I am only doing, I'm just being, I'm just being stationary. I'm not moving. I also want to move. And if the screw also wants to move, then that is it. The machine gets kaput. It becomes non-functional. So everything in creation has a role to play. Ecology is recognized here at different levels. All the devatas, all the elemental forces are doing their jobs and should not be disturbed. Because you are a conscious being with a free will, even the ecology of the divine forces can be disturbed by your actions. Mindless actions can disturb this ecology. If you're abusing your free will, you are disturbing the ecology of dharma, which is going to affect all humanity. Whatever is disturbed is not going to remain without producing undesirable results. How beautiful. And this is what we see. If there is deforestation happening, you're cutting down trees for your own use and not planting them back, which is what our ancient people used to do. They used to fell trees, no doubt, to make their uh, whatever their huts and their houses, but they would plant 5 trees before felling down a tree. So that ensure that afforestation happens, not just deforestation. But what we see now is just mindless deforestation in order to build industries. There is an order, and wherever there is an order, there is ecology. Here, Krishna was talking at the dharma level. Dharma alone should govern your free will. You should underline this. Free will is given to us, but that has to be directed by dharma. Once freedom is given to you, you can do whatever you want. We have a mouth that can speak. I'm just saying, this is not what. So you can use it or abuse it. You can use your mouth to say pleasant words, or you can abuse it to say nasty words. So therefore, you do not want to hear nasty words about you, right? So you don't say the same thing about others. Then you're going according to dharma. Dharma simply put is you do to others what you would expect them to do to you, or you would want them to do to you. So dharma alone should govern your free will. Once freedom is given to you, you can do whatever you want. There is no hindrance whatsoever. If freedom can be hindered, it is not freedom. Therefore, because you have a free will, you can commit homicide or even suicide. See, you can, because you have a free will. But since there is the possibility of abusing freedom at different levels, there should be an ecology with reference to the freedom given. So there is an order of interdependence when you're given this freedom. It seems that the only ecology we are concerned about disturbing is the ecology of the flora and fauna. This attitude comes from human selfishness. We tend to think only about how we are going to be affected by this or that. But there is so much more to ecology than this. Ecology is the very awareness of one's actions and how they have an ever widening circle of reactions. I repeat this again. We normally are only concerned about the ecology of flora and fauna. That is what we normally talk of, people talk of. Environment protection, all the different kinds of pollution. But ecology is the very, but there is so much more to ecology than this. Ecology is the very awareness of one's actions and how they have an ever widening circle of reaction. When a stone is thrown into clean water, it does not just drop to the bottom. It creates ripples which keep on widening and widening into bigger and bigger circles until finally they lash upon the shore. Similarly, any action creates extended circles of response. I mean, we can do a lot of manana on just this beautiful example of how when you drop a stone into water, into clean water, it's not just dropping the stone. It has its ripple effects. So any action, good or bad, that we do has its ripple effects. Looking at the positive side, or when we do anything 100%, then you're inspiring others also to be 100%. Disturbing the order. Any action that disturbs the order, the dharma, will definitely bring about adharma, disorder. Because you are given freedom, your freedom should be controlled by dharma. See, what Duryodhana did was totally adharmic. He was given freedom, but he misused it. If at all there is a control, it is conformity to dharma. And if you do not conform to dharma, you will cause an ecological disturbance at the dharma level, resulting in various conflicts and problems. In this section of Gita, you will find how the universe moves within an ecology. It moves in a certain order, and any disturbance in that order is a disturbance to you and to everyone else. Awareness of this fact is what makes a person a karma yogi. Karma yoga must be clearly understood because it is not an ordinary attitude. It takes a lot of maturity, awareness, and sensitivity. To simply say that one should love God is just so much Sunday talk. It means nothing. How can people who are not able to love their own mothers or those who care for them love God? You do not even know who this God is or whether he exists. Bhakti is no joke. You must have a heightened awareness of the whole at the level of the manifest. Oh, beautiful. This heightened awareness is bhakti and is what makes you a karma yogi, as we shall see later in this group of verses. Arjuna was told by Krishna to take to karma yoga, and he was also told that karma, action, binds the person who performs the action. Thus, there seems to be a problem here. Action, implying a doer, brings to the doer the results of the action. The results of action are either seen, drishta, or unseen, adrishta. Seen results are those you see immediately in this life itself. You can relate directly to them. When you boil water, for example, the boiled water is a result that is seen immediately. The same actions can also bring about unseen results, those that are not seen by you now, but will come either later in this life or in the hereafter. A prayer or a ritual is a karma that brings about an unseen result. For example, Putra Kameshti, the name given to a ritual performed for gaining a son, produces results in this life only. How it happens is not known, only the outcome is seen. The connection between the ritual and the result not being seen, the result is called adrishta. That actions produce both seen and unseen results is unfolded by the Shruti. So, though we did not go further much today in our reading, it is good that we have gone through one more time because this is the essence of Karma Yoga, understanding what bhakti is and what it means to understand the ecology of the whole creation. So we'll stop here. Any sharing before we close? See, that we have some, for example, talking of disease, discomfort, that we have that is because of the order, the ecology, the karma that we're going through. But how we take it, that is our free will. We can take it as a complaint. We can take it in a negative way, or we can take it as prasada. That becomes our free will. That's why Gurudev says, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. There's so much of karma yoga and all that he speaks. He's giving it to us in so many different ways. So all our knowledge points also in the happiness program, each one of them is directing to the attitude of being a karma yogi, understanding that opposite values are complementary, not seeing intention behind others' mistakes, accepting people and situations as they are, active acceptance, not being a football of others' opinion. There's so much of that the change in our inner attitude, taking us more towards karma yoga. So Ishvara is not just dharma, he is yajna. And doing anything we do as an offering to Ishvara, recognizing him, if you're able to see that divinity as tangibly as we see a rock or a stone in every aspect of creation, then that is the attitude. There is the beginning of karma yoga there, to recognize Ishvara. If anybody wants to share. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Meditation is accepting this moment, living every moment totally with depth. Let us keep our spine erect and body relaxed and eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Keep a big smile on your face. You're sitting like the statue of Buddha, very serene and with a serene smile on your face. Relax your body. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your chest region, throat and chest region. If you notice some tension in the body, just let it be. Except those parts of the body where you feel a tension, the other parts are in comfort. Other parts are at peace. Become aware of that also. There are many good things about you and inside of you. Acknowledge them. They will never leave you. And the negative aspect you may see in you is never going to stay with you forever. They are all guests for some time. Let them be. Sit with the total acceptance of yourself the way you are at this very moment. Total acceptance of what is now here lead us to deeper meditation. Let go of all the effort. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let go of all your effort and be in this emptiness. And slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings. And you may gently open your eyes.